Welcome to Culture Craft, the podcast in which we discuss creators throughout history, the culture that influenced their work, and the legacy they left behind. I'm Ellie, and today I know nothing.
I'm Ian, and I'm happy to say I don't know anything. I ended that with an upward intonation as if I had another thought.
You did.
I'm so glad you're hosting because I'm already doing a bad job.
And I am Dave, and I have the papers.
Yeah,
So
physical papers.
Physical, actual analog papers.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit about a thing.
Yeah.
And I have
already I'm just dripping with sexuality,
He's good. He's not good. He's okay.
Is this an icebreaker that needs to come before we talk about our week?
It is an icebreaker that's going to lead into it.
Into
the whole. It's the icebreaker for the whole episode.
Well, I'm so ready.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay.
What's your favorite natural phenomena?
Oh,
mine's lightning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lightning is a good one.
Yeah.
I can't. Do you have something yet? Because I do.
Something.
It's not my favorite, but it's notable because it immediately came to mind when you asked that question, which is lahar. Right. And so, which is the volcanic ash that falls.
Okay.
And there's a place near Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines that famously erupted in 1990. That it just buried everything. It killed a lot of people. But I remember going to this area, I forget the name of it, as a kid, and seeing a church steeple, the very top of a church that was poking out like a foot off the ground because the lahar just buried everything, and we were walking around on like there was a whole town underneath us. So not my favorite, but apparently striking. What's yours?
Well, for me, I'll say quicksand.
Yeah, and that leads us into this.
Oh.
Because icebreaker was a secret pun. This is, as you can see, the name of this episode, but I didn't know what to completely call it. So I also wanted to call it
motherfucker. You absolute re-traumatizing monster. No. How dare you?
I'm so upset. We might need to stop. I don't know if I can go on. I'm so upset.
God damn it. Okay. Well,
cool as ice.
Lives on in our hearts.
It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah, we both knew exactly what that zoomed in image was immediately.
Yeah,
we felt it.
It is hard to look at.
It's so no one, I hope, who listens to this is going to know what that is.
And they're better off.
Yeah, and we're not going to explain it.
Watch the movie Cool as Ice, starring Vanilla Ice.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to never sleep fully well again.
Yeah, because there's a non-zero chance this might happen to you. Vanilla Ice, I'm sure, has repeated this to other people.
Wait,
there's no way this just
chance that Vanilla Ice will come do this to
also, no one else is going to do that.
He's still walking around.
But this doesn't just come to you in a moment of inspirational whimsy while you're writing a script. Like, he's done this to people. This is a thing that he put in his movie.
He might have named himself Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, because of this. That's a good theory.
Okay.
God, what a monster.
Let's leave that up for a minute. So Frederic Tudor and his brother John Henry are getting ready to take a vacation to Cuba. Frederic is 17 and it's around 1801. His brother John Henry is 19. John Henry is also unfortunately very sick. He's one of those guys who's like always sick. He has a chronic condition, but they didn't really know that back then, so he probably just had poor character.
Poor character?
Yeah, that's what they said, right? Low constitution.
Yeah.
He was from an affluent family, so they probably said low constitution.
Yeah.
But because they're from an affluent family, they've had a solution for most of John Henry and Frederick's and the whole family's ills. Anytime some of them got sick and got a fever, they had ice available. They are a family from outside of Boston, and they have an ice house.
Okay.
So during winter, they're able to harvest ice, keep it in their ice house all summer, and then use it to make drinks or ice cream or treat fevers. But it's no longer really working for John Henry. And so they're going to send him off to Cuba and hope a change in climate will help with whatever ails him. The problem is they're doing this right at the end of spring and at the start of summer. So the two brothers from New England on their trip to the Caribbean notably pack two things. One are suits made of wool, and the other is 200 boiled eggs.
What the fuck? 200 boiled eggs?
They were told they would keep.
Well, they won't though.
They won't though.
So it is strange that they were like
100 eggs each.
It's a long trip. It's like a 3-week trip with good winds and weather.
100 eggs each. It is odd that they were like, well, the ice isn't working anymore, so we're going to send him to the hottest place we can think of.
What year are we in, did you
1801.
say? 1801.
So Frederic is going to keep John Henry company, and also because Frederic's dad kind of wants him out.
Wow.
He's like I said, he's 17 years old. He's a bit of a fuck up. He really enjoys starting and running businesses, but his true passion, based on everything that's happened in his life so far, is bankrupting businesses.
He's 17.
But he's from an affluent family. His father's a judge.
Oh,
so they're doing all right.
Wow.
How many businesses could he possibly have bankrupted?
I mean, a few. It's sort of like it's like the 1801 version of like side hustling, right? So he's getting out to see the world along with his brother to keep him company. They go to Cuba, and of course they hate it because it's Cuba and it's the middle of summer at this point. It's really hot and humid.
And they brought wool.
And they're wearing wool and they have egg farts. Like, it's not a good time for them.
Yeah.
But they have a bad time. Frederic loses some money on a sugar scheme. I don't know exactly what. He just had some of his money and he lost it trying to buy or sell sugar. And then, of course, because they're here, they both get yellow fever. And
this is going really well for them.
It's a great trip. Yeah. They both get yellow fever and they immediately escape Cuba.
Wow.
They go to Charleston, South Carolina. That's still too hot.
Yeah.
Still too summery for them. And then eventually they end up in Philadelphia. Frederic is going to be fine. He's going to make a complete recovery. John Henry's never going to leave Philadelphia, and he dies there a year later.
Oh, wow.
So he's 20 when he dies.
And John Henry was the one who was sick from the beginning.
The one who was sick from the beginning. Now, this might just be a coincidence, or his brother's death, which did affect Frederic pretty deeply, will also instill within him a desire to make sure people who have fevers can get cold. Can be cold.
Okay.
It's hard to tell. Anyway, John Henry gets an idea for a business.
Again, Cuba is just a weird choice if the problem is that you're too hot.
I think the idea there was that keeping him cool with ice was no longer working. So let's try the complete opposite.
Extreme opposite.
I do have to say, my mother was born in Pennsylvania, and she developed a fever when she was very young. And the doctor said you'd have to just move away from Pennsylvania because she will just get sick every winter. So they moved to Florida, and that's where I was.
But I mean, like, also in the 1800s, it was pretty, or even for a long time, really, it was pretty common to be like, if you live in a city and get sick, to go to like the country or the seaside to recover. And people are like, well, the air there is better, but there's not smog and shit everywhere. Yeah. So this inspires Frederic to start a business. And to start the business, he first buys a diary. It's his ice diary. That's what he calls it. And the first words that he writes in it, remember, this is, at this point, an 18-year-old who's talking about starting a business selling ice.
Okay.
Quote, "He who gives back at the first repulse and without striking the second blow despairs of success, has never been, is not, and never will be a hero in love, war, or business."
A lot of energy.
He lives his entire life like that.
Just right off the bat.
Just running full speed, just ready to go.
So this is the start of the Tudor Ice Company.
Okay.
And Frederic gets started working with his other brother, William. And they start the business the way everybody should, by lying and bribing and just making shit up.
Okay. What is the business? Just selling ice?
You're going to sell ice. So the first thing he does is write to a bunch of investors. And you're going to love him for this.
Yeah.
Because he does it with puns.
Okay.
He notes to one investor, do not be too cold to the thing and miss a passing opportunity.
Nice.
But people are laughing at him, and not for his puns. It's because everybody thinks his idea is very, very stupid. He is planning to take ice from Boston to the Caribbean.
Oh, interesting.
Because he can't sell it in Boston. People already have ice there. So he starts to lie by telling investors that ocean water will preserve ice, naturally preserves ice. And then demonstrates that this is true by pointing out to the long-standing ice trade between Norway and the United Kingdom.
Okay.
That does not exist. It just, nothing he is saying is true. So while Frederic is lying to people in Boston, William goes down to the Caribbean and lies to people there.
Nice.
He also takes a cousin with him, James, and they go to Martinique, the capital of St. Pierre, which was a French holding at the time. It also doesn't go well. France and the UK are at war right now. So their ship gets inspected and boarded by the British, who eventually let them go. But then they get lost. And when they finally get to St. Pierre, the city harbor doesn't recognize them. They shoot at their ship with some cannon. They just moor there for a day, and then they go in at dawn when people can actually see them. So they need to speak to the prefect of the island to get permission. They actually don't just want permission. They want to get a monopoly. Because why, if you're going to sell ice, you want to be the only ice game.
Yeah.
The prefect doesn't understand the concept of this. Like, he just doesn't, like, he doesn't get it at all.
Yeah.
But he's open to the bribe of 2 gold coins.
Okay. Sweet.
But he's probably like, I feel like you're going to end up just bringing us water. I feel like.
Yeah. That's kind of where everyone's at.
Yeah.
So he.
But sure, if you want to do that.
And if you want to just give me some gold to say you can do it. Exactly. Yeah, I'm open.
Yeah.
So William and James make their bribes, and then they head off to Santo Domingo. Meanwhile, Frederic is having a hard time finding a ship captain who is willing to put a bunch of water in the hull of their ship.
Yeah. Water is also incredibly heavy to transport.
It's very heavy, and if anything goes wrong, you now have water in the ship. So Frederic has to resort to buying a ship, which was really uncommon for merchants to do. Like,
are they using their father's money? Like, what?
He's mortgaging their family's land to do this.
So, but does he have an actual plan? Because the plan that he's telling people is a lie. So does he have an actual plan about how to actually transport this ice?
He does. I'm also just going to, at this point, spare you.
Thank God.
This is young Frederic.
Okay.
That's
still
young
so hot.
Frederic, he looks
like a fuckable eagle.
He looks like he's already 60 years old.
Yeah. He has 1801.
Yeah. They go fast back then.
Yeah, he's had the fevers a few times.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you about how this works. Nobody's gonna give them a ship, and nobody's gonna rent space on their ship. Yeah. So Frederic buys his own ship. He calls it the Favorite. So the process, what you're seeing here, is sort of later after it's developed a little bit.
Yeah.
But Frederick's plan is pretty simple. It's just a larger scale version of what they're already doing.
Yeah.
You wait until late winter to when the ice has, or when the cold has frozen a lake or a pond with maybe a couple feet of ice. Then you get some dudes to climb out on the ice with very long saws, cut into the ice and cut it into chunks, get horses to haul it out, load it on a wagon, and then take it to where it needs to go. To actually keep it in storage, they need to use very, very old technology.
Yeah.
So ice houses have been around for thousands of years at this point. The Chinese and the Persians have both developed them. Personally, I find the Persian version a little bit more impressive because they're in the fucking desert.
Yeah, they're in Persia. It's incredible.
Also, Persian version is fun.
That was fun to say. The premise is pretty similar between like all versions of this. The Persians kind of nailed it. There's going to be small refinements, but you build a building with a big dome, and then you have an entryway, but like below the surface, and then it goes down further into a basin. You fill that basin with water, And then overnight, as the temperature drops below zero, all the hot air goes out through a hole in the dome, and the cold air stays below in the basin where the water can't radiate as much away, like heat away thermally. And then it chills it. And then eventually overnight, a thin layer of water freezes. You do that night after night, and you have a ton of ice. And that's basically what they've been doing. That's what the Persians were doing thousands of years ago. And that's kind of how you can preserve it as well. They're not making the ice like the Tudors aren't making ice. They're just harvesting it and then storing it in a place like this. This is an illustration of like a modern, for the time, ice house. They were a thing that was very popular in Persia, obviously, called yakchals. And they were so prevalent that ice wasn't a luxury item. It was like a commodity. It was a thing that like a regular Persian dude could just get.
That's so cool.
But in the less civilized places of the world, like Europe, they didn't really have any of this.
Yeah.
They didn't really have the need for an ice house in a lot of places because they just kind of got ice naturally. And if you get ice as a byproduct of it being cold, you kind of think of it as like a hazard. And
it's a problem.
Not like a thing that you can use. But by like the 1500s, ice houses are becoming a little prevalent in Europe. And the nobility especially is starting to acquire them. And ice is now being used as a luxury item to like cool wine and things like that. William of Orange in 1686 is going to plot the Glorious Rebellion or Glorious Revolution in an ice house. And Washington and Jefferson are both going to brag to people about the ice houses that their slaves work on their estate.
Wow.
So Frederick basically builds one of these on his boat.
Okay.
Okay.
That's really interesting.
And then in February, he sets out with 130 tons of ice. This is February of 1805. So this plan's been in the works for a couple of years. So 130 tons of ice loaded on to his ship. And unlike William James, Frederick avoids the storms and getting lost and getting boarded. And he makes really good time getting down to the Caribbean, about 3 weeks. And in March, he gets to St. Pierre, where James and William are nowhere to be found. They have left him a note, though.
Oh, good.
The note says, there is no market for ice in St. Pierre, and you should go home.
Oh, my God. Incredible.
Wait, but then where did they go?
They have gone on to Santo Domingo.
Okay.
Now, this entire time, Frederick has been working under one assumption, that William and James are building an ice house for him to store his ice.
Oh, my God.
They have not done that.
He has 130 tons of ice.
He bought a boat.
He bought a boat.
His parents
mortgaged a bunch of land, loaded 130 tons of ice onto the boat, and made it there with 80 tons. Like more than half of it survived the 3 week trip to get here.
Yeah.
And now he's stuck on the dock with no place to store his ice, as just melting in the summer heat.
My God.
So I guess it's February, but it's still warm.
Yeah.
So he starts to just sell it on the dock.
Yeah.
And William and James are right, though. There's no market for ice. Most people who are living on this island have never even seen ice.
Right. It doesn't happen naturally there.
It's not and they don't have any concept for why they need it or what it would be for. But Frederick tries to sell it. It ends up kind of confusing most people or making them angry that they paid money for a thing that then just melts as soon as they hold it. One person thinks to preserve it, they put it in more water.
Yeah.
And Frederick was like, that's the dumbest thing you could do. But he doesn't understand that they don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. It's a complete catastrophe. Overall, he makes about $2,000 in profit from this venture.
He made a profit?
He made about $2,000 selling the ice. Let me rephrase that.
Okay.
He makes about $2,000 selling 80 tons of ice, or at least that's what he can sell before it melts.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
It's pretty good. People kind of picked up on the ice. He also he had a couple other, like, here's how you make drinks with it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He goes home, and on the trip home, now he gets hit by a storm, and one of the masts on the Favorite snaps off.
Damn.
So he's going to have to repair his boat. And because he has to repair his boat, the whole trip ends up costing him money.
Yeah.
William and James leave like a month before he does. Then he leaves, spends a month selling, and then sells back. And 2 months after that, William and James finally get back.
Wow.
They were robbed by pirates, got lost at sea again, and had to be quarantined for yellow fever.
That's incredible.
They either had a real bad time or a great time.
I think they had a great time.
adventure. Yeah.
Because William ends up telling him that they can't sell in any of the British territories without getting express permission from the Privy Council. And to do that, they need to go to London. Frederic is down about $3,000 total from all of this.
Wow.
And a lot of this has to do with William's complete incompetence to do anything.
Yeah.
So Frederic decides to send William to London to negotiate with the Privy Council.
The most critical thing.
Yeah, good job.
And William decides that this is a great opportunity to take his sister to London to try to hitch her to an aristocrat.
Yeah, nice.
So Frederic now starts building ice houses in St. Pierre and Havana. And then in 1807, he does this again, and he makes about $6,000 in 2 weeks between the two ventures that he has. Meanwhile, William in London lies and accidentally says something really smart. He tells the council that there are very strong there are very good uses for ice when it comes to medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's right about that. The Privy Council agrees, and they get permission to sell in British territory.
Yes.
Good job, William.
Yeah. So Frederick, once he gets word of this, starts to put together a huge shipment. Going to start to send it everywhere. What he's been doing in Havana has been working. He hasn't made any money yet.
Yeah, but it's proof of concept.
But proof of concept, it's working.
Yeah.
And he starts to get a shipment together. He starts to plan out this whole thing. And then in 1807, Thomas Jefferson signs the Embargo Act.
Oh, yeah.
Which prevents Americans from selling to any foreign ports.
Yeah.
By 1809, the act is lifted.
Yeah.
But it's too late for Frederick.
For all of that ice.
For all the ice.
The ice.
And also for Frederick's reputation.
Oh, no.
Because he's so in debt, he gets arrested and put into debtor's prison.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Frederick.
Did the family lose the house? Did he literally mortgage the whole all
Not
their property?
everything. The family's able to get enough together to bail him out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But he's humiliated by this.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he stays at it. Here's the thing about Frederick. Every time he goes to debtor's prison.
That's not a good thing. That's not a thing I want anyone to ever have to say about me.
Every time he goes to debtor's prison. All right.
Every time he goes to debtor's prison, he comes out of it more driven and with more resolve that he is right.
Yes.
He must become a hero in love, war, or business.
Exactly. He's not going to get repulsed at the first strike.
No.
Yeah. That's incredible.
So he keeps at it. And in 1810, the business turns a profit. Frederick had nothing to do with it because he was sick with yellow fever.
Oh, my God.
Who ran the business?
James, I believe.
Oh, James.
Cousin James, yeah.
James coming in clutch.
So then in 1811, he opens a market in Jamaica. He sends a ship there loaded with ice. It sinks before it gets to the island.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So the next year, he goes back to debtor's prison.
He's just in there making jotting down ideas.
It's the
whole
same
time.
idea, though.
You're
it's
right.
It's just the ice, though.
Yeah, but he's
time
pivoting,
he comes back,
you know?
You're like, the guys are like, you're still on the ice, dude?
Yeah.
You're here because you're still on the ice.
It's been 10 years. It hasn't worked yet.
A single time. Yeah.
You've been in debtor's prison 2 times already.
Ice is not going the way you hope, man.
So he gets out of prison this time and he has a new idea. It's not a new idea. It's just a bigger idea. He builds an ice house in Boston, right by the harbor. So they can spend all winter harvesting and then load it up, keep it in Boston, and then just load it right from the ice house onto the ship. And it's going to be great. And now he has all of this well, not really money, but he has some more backing, and he has all of these plans to go everywhere. Like this year, now that he has this ice house, they spent all this, like he has more ice than he knows what to do with. He has he has permission to sell it everywhere. He's going to go crazy. He has huge plans for what he's going to do this winter. The problem is the United States government has very big plans for June, and they declare war on the British Empire. It's the War of 1812.
Cannot get to break candy.
You really can't.
I just see the hard cut to him just in debtor's prison again. Just
So the war lasts about 3 years. Frederick goes to debtor's prison 2 more times.
Oh my God. Wow.
By 1815, he is $10,000 in debt and is not allowed to leave the state.
Yeah.
So to avoid suspicion, he gets his crews to harvest ice at night.
Okay.
Cutting into the lakes and ponds where nobody will really be able to see or hear, and it won't make anybody suspicious. This works. He's able to board a boat and sneak out of the city in 1815 with a big shipment of ice that he takes to Havana.
That's great. Clandestine ice harvesting.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, I don't think a local would be like, that's weird. I bet someone who's not allowed to be harvesting ice is harvesting ice at night.
Yeah.
Like, they would probably just be like, I don't know, move on.
Yeah.
So in 1815, he arrives in Havana and he builds a new ice house, and he actually improves on the designs that he's been using. He actually makes a very, very effective ice house. He also, maybe accidentally, but he also changes the culture of Cuba forever.
Okay.
He has a new idea, a new way to pitch this. Havana's been his best market so far. So this time, he, instead of selling the ice directly, he starts to give it out to free to cafes and bars and have them make drinks with it and then demonstrate the difference between like a chilled drink and a warm one.
That's very smart.
But that's not the smartest thing he does. He does the thing that he should have done from the very beginning. He makes ice cream.
Yes, nice.
Cubans fucking love ice cream. It's not a stereotype. Every Cuban alive loves ice cream.
Okay.
The CIA tried to assassinate Castro using ice cream and cigars and like 100 different things. Yeah. But ice cream was one of them. Castro will also famously build at the time the world's largest ice cream parlor, which he will call a cathedral to ice cream to promote socialism.
Wow.
Which is the best idea I've ever heard.
Incredible.
A cathedral to ice cream to promote socialism.
Yeah.
That would work on me
It's already
hard.
worked on me. I haven't even been to it. To this day, it's still open and sells ice cream very, very cheaply so everybody in Cuba can afford it.
That is incredible.
It's fucking great.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
Ice cream is still super, like everybody in Cuba loves ice cream. I can't state that enough, and it's because this dumb asshole gave them some.
I love it. Do you have a picture of ice cream?
No, but I have a picture of old Frederick we can look at.
Oh yeah.
He does look like a sailor now, like a hardened sailor.
It is very funny to see. The previous image of him was so young, and then we've heard him go. He went to debtor's prison like 4 times, and then the next picture we see of him
this is him 4 months later.
So he introduces
ice cream to Cuba. They love it, and he makes a ton of money, as you would expect when you kind of change the culture of a whole island. To celebrate this, he has another plan, which is to save some of his ice and use it to transport things back to Boston. He gets a bunch of oranges, and they're going to be kept fresh.
There we go.
Except there's a problem. It doesn't work, and they ferment and then spoil on the trip back.
Oh, no.
So all the profits that he made, he gets a huge chunk of them cut.
Yeah.
But he has enough that by the time he gets back to Boston, he can start paying off some of his debt.
Okay.
So 14 years in, and he starts to finally be successful.
Yeah.
And the papers that were laughing at him and making fun of this venture start to call him the Ice King.
The Ice King.
That's very fun.
So now that has some money, he starts to expand his venture. He wants to go to Charleston. He's basically retracing his path that he made with John Henry. But he spent all of his money on spoiled oranges and paying back his debts. So he tells people in Charleston that they should invest with him because ice is a commodity and a very safe investment. Which is a wild thing to say when
Incredible. Safe investment.
Do they know that he's been to debtor's prison five times?
I would presume no.
That's incredible.
You just sit back and collect the money. That's all it is.
But now, like so many other things that have happened to him, he's impacted by something way beyond his control. 1818 and 1819 are very warm. So not as much ice forms. And also because he started to make money, he has some competition. So the push to get some ice is heating up. Frederic, though, is very industrious. So he decides he can go get ice where it's at. Now, you would think you're really good at harvesting ice from ponds.
Yeah.
Where do you go? Somewhere north, right?
Yeah.
Where there's more ponds.
Right.
Canada, famously, lots of lakes and ponds.
The Great Lakes or somewhere, yeah.
If you thought that, you're a coward. Frederic hires a boat to go tow an iceberg.
Fuck yes. Oh my God.
It works.
Oh my God.
I don't know how, but it works.
That's where to? Where do you tow an iceberg
I don't,
to? Boston?
Yeah, and then they just chop it up.
That's incredible.
It's amazing.
Wow.
I don't know how the boat doesn't sink like 1,000 times on this trip.
That's
Incredible.
amazing.
It has to not be a very big iceberg, but it's still an iceberg.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
So finally, in 1821, Frederic and his company changed culture again. He opens up his ice trade to New Orleans. And here, the bartenders go crazy.
Yeah, nice.
And start to develop not just cool drinks, but figure out the ways that chipping ice or putting in chunks change the flavor and the way, alcohol hits. This will be the thing that really puts the drinking culture of New Orleans into like overdrive. And then over like basically between now or then and now, I don't know exactly like how many cocktails and mixed drinks were created in New Orleans, but it's somewhere between a lot and all of them.
Yes,
right?
it really is.
So he's successful down there.
He's successful in New Orleans. He's super successful in Havana, all up and down the coast in Charleston, and then like in places along Florida and a bunch of islands around the Caribbean. Everything's starting to go very, very well.
And he truly is like forming the culture of these places not forming, but changing.
Yeah. And
adjusting.
And we're going to see there's a lot other things going on too. So naturally, with all the success, he has a nervous breakdown because he's not used to any of it.
Yeah.
He gets help mostly from James to keep things running. He is also running the whole family household now because his father has passed away. So he has a lot going on.
Okay.
A man named Nathaniel Wyeth develops a new method for harvesting ice. Basically drill some holes into the ice sheet to let water come up. And as it does, it freezes, but it's clearer. And then you can cut even larger chunks of it, and clearer ice sells more because people think it's clean.
Yeah.
Keyword there is they think it's clean.
Yeah.
It's the same water. Yeah.
But now with all of his competitors, there's less ice available. And this is because of another thing that Frederic didn't know, and that nobody knew then, that for the last 400 years or so, the world was on average about 1 to like a half a degree Celsius colder than it should have been. Nobody knows why this happened. There's just a period they call the Little Ice Age, and they're at the very tail end of it. So naturally things are warming up and not as much ice is forming because just the winters are not as cold as they used to be. This leads to more teams sneaking around at night, harvesting ponds when no one can see, and sort of like scouting out new territory. Yeah. This is a relatively new image of one of the ponds that they were harvesting ice out of. It's still called a pond. It's really big, but
it is, big.
So in 1833, Frederic is winding down from the day-to-day operations, but he has one last play that he's going to make when one of his cousins, Samuel Austin, comes to him with the most ridiculous idea yet. He wants to sell ice in India.
That's so far away.
Months away.
It's months away. It requires crossing the equator twice.
Shit.
And the thing is, India already has ice.
Yes.
They're using the method the Persians did.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that method, while it creates ice that is clean, that is actually mostly clean because you're just kind of pulling it out of the air, it looks filmy. Like it has a film to it. It looks it doesn't look crystal clear. Frederic's ice does. Mm-hmm. So they take it there and it sells very well because they see clean, clear ice. It's going to make a lot of people sick.
Yeah. But just literally freezing.
Yeah.
Preserving bacteria that people can't handle and delivering it from across the world.
Right.
Yeah.
This pond, by the way, is outside of Concord, Massachusetts. Most of the ice came from the pond, and like initially the pond that his family owned, and then from like leases and stuff from nearby, including this one, at which one point in like 1844, they're going to disturb a weird hermit who's living there.
Oh.
Who's going to write, "The pure Walden water is mingled with the sacred water of the Ganges." Henry David Thoreau watches Frederic Tudor harvest ice.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Wow, what a cool convergence.
Right. And now it's all now a little too late for Frederic. It's all going to start going wrong in a whole new way. Because in 1844, a man in Florida invents ice.
Leave it to Florida.
Now, you've been thinking this whole time, of course there's ice.
Yeah.
We've been talking about ice for so long. How can somebody invent it?
Right.
This is Dr. John Gorey.
Okay.
But he grows up in South Carolina, where he becomes an apothecary's apprentice, and he spends most of his days treating people with yellow fever. I can't stress enough how dangerous the color yellow is in the 1800s.
Yeah.
It's the deadliest color. It kills 200 people a year in Charleston.
Wow.
During the peak of the yellow fever season, which was like July and August, Charleston actually introduces very early versions of social distancing. Now, Ellie, I need your help.
Okay.
Do
you need me to identify the year?
What is that place? What is the name of that place?
That is Apalachicola.
So John goes to school in New York and then comes back and goes to work at
Apalachicola.
Apalachicola.
Apalachicola?
Yeah, Appalachian Coca-Cola.
Appalachian Coca-Cola. Goes to Apalachicola. Now, Florida has it worse than Charleston. We know today yellow fever is spread by mosquitoes, and mosquitoes love swamps, and Florida is swamps.
Yeah, it is.
Florida is just swamps.
I can attest.
And slightly cleaner water.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Then it was even more. Now we've like concreted over.
You've conquered the swamps.
We've filled it in, but at that point it was just swamps.
And you know what? That is a good way to deal with swamps. The people of Apalachicola had a different way of dealing with the swamp because they recognized that the swamp was the problem. They didn't know it was because of the mosquitoes from the swamp. They thought it was from swamp gas.
Oh,
right.
Swamp gas.
That was poisonous and would come up overnight and just slowly infect people.
The humors.
So to deal with the swamp gas, they shot the swamp with a cannon.
A cannon?
Well, multiple cannons.
They just fired a cannon into the swamp.
They shoot the cannon into the swamp to disperse the gas. It's very logical and reasonable.
To disperse it where?
Everywhere. To get it out. It's a concentrated swamp gas, Ian. Is bad for you.
So, well, we'll shoot it.
I mean,
we know that when we go into the
incredibly
swamp,
Florida response.
We come out with a fever. Any ideas other than cannons?
In their defense, in this time period, 25% of all deaths in Florida are from yellow fever.
Wow, so they're pretty desperate.
They're pretty desperate. And so is John Gorey, because this is the thing that he's treating. Yeah. And what he's noticed from his time in New York is that keeping patients with fever cool might not cure them.
Yeah, but it gives them a chance.
Makes them happier. It gives them some relief. So John Gorey is using Frederic Tudor's ice. And he has a slight problem though, because in Apalachicola, which is, I don't know where. The ice is very expensive.
Yeah.
And he needs a lot of it because he has developed basically an analog air conditioner.
Wow.
Which is he takes the ice, puts it in a tray, cuts a little hole in the middle to let the cool air flow down, and then puts that above the bed of a patient with fever.
Yeah.
And it works on them. Like they at least pass calmly or can help recover. But that's he needs so much ice to do this. So he comes up with a different idea, and that's to find a way to make artificial ice.
Mm.
The dynamics of how gases work and what happens when you heat and cool them is very, very complex. And I am stupid. And I cannot possibly explain this to you other than that if you heat gas, it get big. And if you cool it, it gets small.
Yeah.
And if you do that in a chamber, it make vacuum and then that suck hot out of things.
That makes
Can
sense.
I interject with a quick story about growing up in Florida? My brother had a car. It was my grandfather's old car. And the reason it was passed on to my brother was because it no longer had an air conditioner. It also had velvet seats.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. In Florida, like, dark red velvet seats. In Florida, it was just truly hell to drive around in that car in the summer. My brother purchased ice almost daily, would purchase ice, and then he set up a fan in his front seat and ran the fan blowing over the ice onto.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
That was his method.
Do you want to know something crazy? That's in there. That's coming up.
That's what he did. He just blew a fan over ice.
I can remember living in the Philippines before air conditioning, while air conditioning was still very premium. So the majority of homes that did have it was only for like your parents' bedroom.
Yeah, my house in the Philippines only had air conditioning in my parents' bedroom.
Yeah, we had it in the guest room, so it was a very special thing when we all got to sleep in there because it's so expensive. And so it's 100 degrees out and 100% humidity, and you're just dying sleeping. And I used to get fully naked and just sleep on our marble floor because it was cold enough. But even that didn't cut it sometimes. And I have memory of not being fully naked doing this. But my cousin and Josiah and I were very young. We're just miserably hot and couldn't sleep. And he had the brilliant idea of taking isopropyl alcohol and spraying it all over my entire body and then aiming a fan at me, because we figured out that when it evaporates quickly and that cools you down, and it felt great very briefly. And we got in so much trouble because his parents were doctors and ran a clinic out of the home, and we used all of their isopropyl alcohol in the course of an evening, trying desperately to cool down enough to go to sleep. We went through like 8 bottles because Josiah was like, my parents have shitloads of this. Like, they're not gonna mind. Oh, so who knows what what damage that did to me. Just osmosis absorbing alcohol through my skin for hours.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's incredible.
We do get rather creative when we get hot.
If you can't sleep, you get desperate.
You do. So John Goria spends 3 years building his machine and gets it to work. And he's going to eventually receive the first patent for refrigeration. It's not the first refrigerator because it doesn't, it just makes ice. Mm-hmm. This is his patent. This is his machine.
Okay.
And then he starts to write about it in a series of articles, but he's going to have to publish it under a pseudonym.
Okay.
Why?
Because what he is doing is an affront to God.
I love the Victorians. Yes,
wow.
I can see it exactly.
You don't, I don't even have to explain it. Just in your gut, you're like, I can see how this happens. Yeah. And so a lot of people are like, this is unnatural. Man should not be able to make ice. Not like this, not out of a machine using science and alchemy.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't help. Gory is a pretty bad salesperson.
Yeah.
He's making ice out of like,
it's incredible.
This is a miracle.
Yeah.
But he can't get a lot of people interested. He even goes to like New Orleans and he can't get people interested. He gets one person, a French like diplomat, who at a party on Bastille Day makes a big show about serving people warm wine. And he's like, well, let's liven it up. And then has like his like staff burst out with ice. And people love that. But Gorey can't get anybody interested in this. And every time he writes an article, a whole bunch of other articles come up either saying that this is unnatural, it's unhealthy, it's not clean, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
The problem is all of those articles are being paid for by Frederic Tudor.
Oh my God. He lured us in. He said we were going to start with a fun anecdote about the villain.
And we did.
Oh my God.
Oh my
You
goodness.
tricky Bicky.
So Gorey patents his machine in 1851. He's going to die penniless in 1855.
Oh,
wow.
In the time in between, there's a fire, so none of his writings really survive.
Oh my God.
And it's very unfortunate because this dude's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he's a doctor who invents a machine to make ice to make his patients' lives better. And
wow.
he doesn't really get any credit or anything. Like, it sucks.
It just dies.
And Frederic Tudor makes a bunch of money by just cutting ice out of a pond and sailing it around the world.
Well, he's got a point, though. I'm going back to basics. If my ice doesn't come from Walden, I don't want it.
Well, there's a problem with that. Because while they think the water is clean, this is also the very early stages of industrialization are happening. And even if not, you just have dudes walking across the pond, cutting up ice, and then there's literal shit in this water. And so it's not very clean. And this is all going to be part of the reason why this ice trade dies, along with Frederick, who also dies in 1864. He's survived by a wife and 6 kids, and they had a pretty bad relationship.
Okay.
All right.
I haven't really talked about all of them at all. Euphemia,
probably.
Euphemia Tudor.
That's a great name.
It's a great name. Everything you like about Frederick is about to go away.
Okay. I mean, there wasn't much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not.
He's 31 years older than his wife, and she was 14 when they got married.
Fuck.
Frederick also said the wife is the natural enemy of the husband, which I think is a very normal stance to take when you marry somebody who could be your dad. Also, despite being 31 years older than her, he was the immature one because after a fight, he threw all of her shit in the harbor.
Oh my God.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't like you, Frederick.
Yeah.
She absolutely doesn't.
Maybe she doesn't like you because she was forced to marry an old man.
She got hers back, though, because after he died, she obviously outlived him.
Yeah. Right?
She found his ice diary and just wrote a bunch of shit about him in it.
Please go on. What did she put in there?
She accuses him of cheating, of just being an asshole, of having a bad relationship with his kid, being like miserly, and a whole bunch of
I'm so sorry they had kids.
It sucks for them.
It
Well, it
for
sucks for her. He's probably liked it because he's a dick.
All right.
What an asshole.
So after his death, his whole ice empire begins to decline pretty quickly. And it's not because he was good at running it. It's because there's so many other things going on. Gorey's ice machine, the two people he did show it to, the few people he showed it to, included among them were inventors and scientists from Britain and France. Shortly after he dies, Britain and France both start producing machines exactly like his. And because Frederic Tudor has no pull in those countries, they start to sell and become popular. And then they even start to sell them in America. Artificial ice is obviously a lot cleaner and a lot healthier to have. And this starts basically the refrigeration revolution and what we would call today the cold chain.
The cold chain?
The cold chain. The chain of different things that get fresh things from where they start to where they need to be.
Oh, okay.
But it's a very rocky journey. The first actual refrigerator is created by James Harrison, who starts as a newspaper man in Australia.
Oh.
The the refrigerator that he builds is 2 stories tall and is used to keep beer cold.
Nice.
Because he's Australian. In 1893, as a way to showcase some of the leading technology of the era, an ice making plant is built at the Chicago World's Fair. Over the course of a couple weeks, it catches on fire 3 times and then eventually explodes and kills 17 people.
Kills 17 people?
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's the refrigerator. Sorry, I'm really bad at slides.
Wow.
Cool.
That's the World's Fair.
I do not remember reading that part in Devil in the White City.
Yeah.
Incredible. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Speaking of Chicago, what Frederic Tudor sets in motion saves that city.
Wow.
Not because of this, but because prior to this, Chicago is a citywide slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
All like the livestock from the Midwest is brought to Chicago and just killed in the street. It's
murdered on the shores of Lake Michigan.
Yeah, it's a terrible place to be. But now that everybody has ice, they start to build ice boxes. And when you build an ice box for your home, it follows that you'll build a very big one that you could put on a train.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically before this, if you wanted fresh meat, you needed a cow.
Yeah.
Now,
he's not wrong. Yeah.
But now you could kill the cow anyway and just put the meat in a cooler and send it on a train.
Yeah.
So Chicago goes from being a slaughterhouse to just being the meat packing capital of the nation. And this is true. Like every major city had like a prime piece of real estate allocated to slaughterhouses where they just had to bring in thousands of cows or pigs or I was really about to say donkey. Like that's a thing people eat.
Your number 2 livestock pick was donkey.
I didn't mean it to be. It was just the animal that popped in.
Incredible.
So there's one last thing that this leads to. Well, 2 things. One, completely transforms like the medical industry as well. As refrigeration just leads to so many more ways to experiment and do things. So fresh food, new medicine, most importantly, there is the ability to cool spaces.
Yeah.
And what your brother did is the first thing they do. If you have like a very large venue and a bunch of people packed in and it's still the 1800s and then people are stubborn and they're wearing wool suits in the middle of summer in a theater packed with hundreds of other people, it gets really hot.
Real hot.
Now, people used to just pass out and that was cool. But now theaters can
pipe in,
like bring in ice, chip it out, and leave it like next to big fans to blow out and then like float down over the crowd. This led to the most popular shows every year being the most highly attended, which would lead to theaters having to purchase the most blocks of ice.
Interesting, yeah.
And this is where the term blockbuster comes from.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
For real.
This is why we call it blockbuster. Like
That's amazing.
And that's it. I should have ended on the thing about medicine, but I didn't.
No, Blockbuster is much more memorable.
Even better. This is why we have blockbuster movies.
Yes.
So okay, well, hold on. But everything you were just describing in terms of the theater, like that's well after Tudor died, right? That's you were talking about.
I'm like people using ice to cool buildings was something that was happening while Tudor was still alive. Okay. Especially in the South. Things like
I was just thinking because trains. I mean, he was born. He was 18 in 1801, right?
Yes, he would have been alive for train. Like there were trains, but this all like the things that he set in motion go far beyond like his life and his business.
Interesting.
And most of the stuff like to go back to John Gorey for a second. By the time we get into like the 1800s, like the end of the 1800s, and into the 1900s. Like using ice to treat fevers will be a common thing throughout every hospital. They might not be using his device, but he was on the forefront of let's keep them cool. Let's come up with the like actual repeatable industrial way to treat to treat people with fever.
Yeah.
He unfortunately doesn't get to see any of it. But Frederic Tudor starts this whole process of like, we have ice and now we can deliver it to people sort of where they're at. And then they can take that ice home and they can use it to preserve things. They get ice houses, and that leads to like cottage industries of like, now you have ice men who deliver ice door to door, which before we had milkmen, there were ice men.
Yeah.
And they were the ones who were cuckolding you.
That's what our society needs.
Yeah.
There's too many men who should have been cuckolded their whole lives.
Yeah.
The thing is,
then we had vacuum. We went
ice, vacuum and sales,
milk, then vacuums. And
now it's what, like energy
of all
suppliers.
Of those, the Iceman is the one that you need to worry about.
Yeah,
because they're lugging giant chunks of ice that weigh 50 or 60 pounds upstairs, and these are buff dudes. The milkman, he like he just sucks on a cow to get that. That's how that works, right?
No,
the man sucks on the cow,
and then he spits under the bottle, and then he brings it to your wife.
No, before that, you just eated the cow.
Yeah.
I think it went Icemen, Milkmen, and then vacuum salesmen, and then eventually it was the Mary Kay ladies.
Yeah. I wish I lived in that era. Tupperware saleswomen. What are we left with? Solar power and life insurance salesman. I don't want to fuck any of those.
No.
I was both of those at some point in my life. Well, this was fascinating. I did not know where it was going the whole time.
Oh,
but like,
sorry, wait, before we go on, I just need to give the credits for Tom Jackson, Shield, and Amy Brady, Ice, and then a couple other places like Chicagoology, the Massachusetts Historical Society,
not happy about this.
John Gorey Museum, and of course, Cool as Ice from Universal Pictures.
So angry at you.
It's all those sources.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Why is that in the movie? She's not excited. She can't even pretend to be excited about this.
Oh my god,
she's sleeping at the start of it. Like she cannot give consent.
Yeah,
this is assault.
No, she also doesn't know this man in the movie.
This is like the second time they interact.
One encounter.
Into her room.
God, that movie is so insane. I can't imagine like the visceral audible reaction that our group of friends had when we saw this movie together.
You need to watch this movie if you haven't seen it.
No, they don't.
There is nothing that can properly prepare you for this scene.
There's nothing that can prepare you for the whole movie, but you're right.
It is disgusting.
Yeah.
And I feel burdened by it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only way to relieve that burden is by giving it to as many other people as I can.
Yeah.
We can all, a lot of people can lift a piano, you know?
Yeah. I knew
this is my piano.
The details of the scene before I saw it.
Yeah, we were warned.
The horror was no lessened by that. It exceeded my expectations.
It's eldritch in it, how terrible it is.
It's eldritch. So, wait, please remove this image from my line of sight, please. I beg of you. Thank you.
We're done.
So the guy made that comment about a man's enemy. A wife is the enemy of the husband.
Wife is a natural enemy of the husband.
And he spent many years failing. He buried a brother who he traveled the world with. He spent a lot of time in debtor's prison. So, yes, one read is he's awful, awful man. Other read is she was an awful wife. I mean, that guy faced a lot of horrors, and that was his biggest enemy, according to him.
Yeah, I mean, she's 14. What does she know?
Was a teenage girl. Yeah,
she doesn't know anything.
I mean, he's got a point. Teenage girls can
She's probably never even...
I think the moral is don't marry someone 30 years younger than you who
absolutely never do that
as a child.
Don't marry a literal child who's 30 years younger than you.
Of course, what could they possibly have to talk about?
The thing is, he also, like, in letters to her and like in some of his writings, seems to be very acutely aware of the difference in age. I didn't cover this like in the main part, but like he at one point is like saying, like talking about like when they're like engaged or betrothed or whatever. He points out, one, he doesn't want people to think that he's marrying a child. Like he explicitly says, don't let people think that I'm marrying a child. You're 14.
Okay.
And then he to her is like, don't be worried about marrying an old man. I know all my hair is white, but I'm still
cool.
It's not great. I like this guy until I got to that part.
Yeah, that sucks a lot.
Up until that part, it was like this fun,
yeah,
kind of like I had like this fun, like sort of like frat boy vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He keeps fucking up. And he has this really bad but kind of brilliant idea.
Yeah.
And then there's this part, and it's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for this. That was illuminating and bizarre.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you did a very good job. Yeah.
I know so much more about
the
culture of the world now, and I feel so happy about that.
At some point, we're gonna go, all the three of us, to eat ice cream at Castro's ice cream parlor.
I am wondering if it's too late for us to get ice cream right now. Is there a place open for ice cream?
It's never too late for ice cream.
That is what I think we should go do.
Okay, I love that plan for us. It is it's going to be hard. It's not at this hour of the evening.
It's a time and a location. And that's all we're giving you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Dave.
Yeah. And now you know where Blockbuster comes from.
I know that was a nice little button.
That was the whole point.
Okay, love you. Bye.